Morning. Just give us a moment while we get everything started. So nice to see so many new and familiar faces. Okay, to you, Tenzin.
I'm just going to, is the share screening started? Justin, has this screen been shared?
It hasn't started yet. Your screen share hasn't started yet.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm just going to start the screen. Okay. Hello, Tashtele. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tenzin Metok from Medicine Buddha app, and I'm very excited with Dr. Rinzin Sangmo from the prestigious Menla, which is the Tibetan Medical and Astroscience Institute based in Dharamsala, India, to present today's Medicine Buddha Anywhere series on Tibetan medicine, on sugar, sweets, diet, and diabetes. Thanks so much to Justin at Tibet House Menla for facilitating and actually suggesting this webinar. It covers more than diabetes, actually does provide great tips and on low sugar diet, on healthy living. So we'll hope that you gain lots of knowledge about diabetes, but also ways to prevent it and a healthy lifestyle. We'll spend the next hour and a half with this outline in mind. Firstly, a little introduction about Medicine Buddha Anywhere series. It's a unique partnership between Medicine Buddha app and Tibet House and Menla to spotlight Tibetan medicine. And we rotate great Tibetan doctors who are specialists in areas in Tibetan medicine and give a sneak peek about Tibetan medicine and how you can incorporate parts of Tibetan medicine and Sowa Rigpa, what Tibetan medicine is called in Tibetan. I'll do a little introduction to the speaker and ask Dr. Rinzin herself to introduce herself. We'll touch upon diabetes as a global phenomenon and then introduce Tibetan medicine, what makes Tibetan medicine unique. Part of this Medicine Buddha Anywhere series is to actually spread awareness about Tibetan medicine so that some of you who attend the webinars may actually want to try meeting a Tibetan doctor for a live in-person consultation, or can use this webinar as an educational tool and incorporate Tibetan medicine into your healthy lifestyle. We'll focus then on Tibetan medicine's approach to diabetes and how it compares to conventional or Western medicine. Tibetan medicine is so specialist in diabetes and is very personalized. So it'll be very fascinating to see how Tibetan medicine is personalized according to your constitution and humors, and also the 20 different types of urine that can be presented. Dr. Rinzin will deep dive on that and actually provide diet, herbal products, and Tibetan supplement recommendations, and also lifestyle tips in terms of portion control, healthy eating, what to avoid, what to restrict, what she would recommend to actually eat more of. And there's great preventative measures to reduce to first of all prevent diabetes, but once you do have diabetes, to reduce the secondary complications. And she's going to present some of the studies on a particular study that Menla has done on diabetes using a case study of 200 people, a control group who didn't use Tibetan medicine and one that did. And finally, I know most of you will be very excited to have the unique opportunity for the live Q&A with Dr. Rinzin. So really, if you have any questions throughout this presentation, please do save them to the end, because this is a really great, unique opportunity to interact with her and really hear from an expert like Dr. Rinzin. I would say we're not going to use it as an opportunity for a live consultation because this is being simulcast on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. But instead, if you had general questions on diabetes, sugar, sweets, or anything that we've presented on, please use that opportunity to ask questions to Dr. Rinzin at the end of this. So we'll pace ourselves and spend about 45 minutes to an hour for the bulk of this webinar and keep the last half an hour for question and answer. I'd like to begin with the disclaimer, that's the lawyer in me, that says, please use this talk to as an educational tool. We're here to spotlight Tibetan medicine and offer a unique perspective of Tibetan medicine on diabetes, but really it should not be a replacement for a treatment plan that you already may have if you suffer from diabetes. We will drum it throughout this presentation that actually, if you do have concerns about diabetes or currently are diabetic, we'd really encourage you to meet a Tibetan doctor, either best in person for a full holistic diagnosis, but if not, there are consultations on the Medicine Buddha app or in your local area to really get a personalized, tailored service for you, your constitution, your needs. So please seek professional help to get a personalized diagnosis and treatment plan. I'd love to ask Dr. Rinzin to please introduce herself, and then I'll say a little bit about myself too. Thank you. And welcome, Dr. Rinzin Tashdile.
Tashdile, hello everyone. And thank you for having me, and thank you for joining the Medicine Buddha section on Tibetan medicine and diabetes. I am Rinzin Sangmo. I'm Tibetan medicine doctor who completed my medicine degree in Menla in 2002, and I did my MD in 2013 as well. And my specialization is more in the metabolic disorders like irritable bowel movement symptoms, then diabetes, hypertension, mental health also, and I have clinical practice like more than 20 years. I'm also more into the giving, I'm very active resource person for the conferences, to give courses, also for the national TVs to give public health awareness regarding their health, mental health, and I also go abroad to give courses and for consultation also. Currently, I'm working in research department as the head of research and development department. Thank you.
Thank you. It's really an honor to have you, Dr. Rinzin. Really, first of all, Menzinkang is the premier institution for Tibetan medicine, and I'll speak a little bit more about it, but to also get somebody of your stature as the head of research, and it's very inspiring for me to see a woman in a senior leadership position. And also great, you're a working mother. And I think, it's 6 o'clock in the morning in India, and you've made this time to share your expertise. So we're really grateful to have you. And you're so articulate, and such a joy to host you on this webinar. So thank you so much, Dr. Rinzin.
Thank you.
And just a little brief about me. I am a Tibetan born in India and educated in Europe and America. So I do feel a bit Eastern and Western at the same time. And I'm a working mother and a banking professional in my day job, but my passion project and I feel my path in life is Tibetan medicine, which I actually stumbled upon in 2019 on the birth of my own third child, and not being able to find a Tibetan medicine doctor for my mother-in-law. And so Tibetan Medicine Buddha app is a platform which offers video consultations with brilliant Tibetan doctors like Dr. Rinzin, and also offers a one-stop shop where you can purchase herbal products and also get the supplements that are tailored for you. We're the first Tibetan app on health and healing, And I'm really proud to say it's also a Tibetan enterprise in that we employ Tibetans and it's delivering Tibetan medicine with excellence. And this is the sort of ethos that we deliver, and also how we're delivering this webinar with excellence in Tibetan medicine through an authentic Tibetan experience. A very brief acknowledgement about diabetes as a global phenomenon, and that is a major cause of secondary complications like blindness, kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, and lower limb amputation. I myself know individuals who have suffered from diabetes and continue to do so, and that's why we wanted to host a webinar like this, because first of all, it's such a global condition that affects so many individuals, but also it can be managed and consequences really avoided and delayed with the right recommendation. And this is part of our purpose to help as many people through Tibetan medicine. We also time this perfectly in time with the end of the Indian festival of Diwali, where there's a lot of mithai or sweets. And secondly, myself with 3 children and loads of Halloween candy this time of the year that'll last till Christmas. We felt actually it's a really great opportune time to present on diabetes and really offer insights on low sugar and a healthy lifestyle. So Tibetan medicine is actually a very ancient system of healing. It's relatively unknown in the West, and these sort of webinars are meant to pique individuals' interest in Tibetan medicine. And I really hope that some of you watching on this or even the replays will be interested to learn more about Tibetan medicine. And I'll ask Dr. Rinzin at the end for further resources, such as book recommendations or other webinars or other resources where you can learn more about Tibetan medicine. It is an ancient 2,500-year-old system with real roots that combine, Indian Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, and also, the plant medicine that already exists. And we're learning more and more that actually many societies globally already had plant remedies and traditional plant medicine, and we're rediscovering that and realizing how beneficial they are. It is already practiced, acknowledged, and celebrated by half the world, such as India and China. And so, Tibetan medicine can really be a great option for individuals for many of their conditions, and especially, I think, for mental wellness, which I think can sometimes be a symptom or condition in itself. Tibetan medicine is very unique on a few fronts. One, they have a system of diagnosis called the pulse analysis. You will see Tibetan doctors using that as one method of diagnosis, and Dr. Rinzin will also share some of her experiences with that, and also that they focus and concentrate on individuals having 3 different humors or constitutions, and these are called lung, tripa, and bekin. And we'll talk more later in the webinar about specific lung dominant diabetes, tripa dominant diabetes, and bekin dominant diabetes. So lung humor is wind energy, and that really controls the body and mind. Tripa is bile, and that controls, that's represented by the fire element, and that controls the gallbladder. And finally, we have bekin, which is the phlegm and the water element, and that controls the bile elements. So it's quite similar like Indian Ayurveda in that, they also have the 3 different humors, and it's a very personalized approach. A consultation with a Tibetan medicine doctor can include a variety of ways to diagnose. So I spoke about pulse reading. There's also urine analysis. There's observing the tongue, and also, of course, history taking from the patient. And a lot of chronic conditions like insomnia, etc., can actually be diagnosed through a lot of the patient's history taking and what the patient shares about their lifestyle. Tibetan medicine doctors will then use and recommend a host of herbal, physical, nutritional, dietary, behavioral, psychological, and even spiritual interventions for what they think can help with their condition. So it's a real holistic um, treatment plan. And what I also really like about it is it really considers the whole community that can help that individual. They don't see it siloed and in terms of symptoms. And that's what also brought me to Tibetan medicine, is that disillusionment with conventional medicine, in that they only had one approach, singular approach. My son suffers from eczema, and the doctor would just keep prescribing increasing dosages of hydrocortisol. And I felt actually that wasn't appropriate for my son, who was at 3 months old, and in areas where the skin was already very delicate. And so for vulnerable patients, Tibetan medicine is really great because they can give you recommendations that are on the spectrum of, from gentle to as seriously you want the intervention to be or recommendations to be. And the doctor really works with you and personalizes his or her recommendations for you, your condition, your lifestyle, weather, environment. There's a tenfold way of actually recommending herbal products, or even external therapies like cupping or acupuncture. And Tibetan medicine in particular, the acupuncture is very, very advanced, especially for arthritis, because of the high elevation and the effect that this cold weather has on joints. So as you can tell, I'm a great fan of Tibetan medicine, and I'd love for more people to consider it, learn about it, and possibly integrate parts of Tibetan medicine. The Buddha that Tibetan medicine doctors pray to, to help as many sentient beings, is called is called Medicine Buddha, and he meant for Tibetan medicine to not just be for Tibetans, but to be for everyone in the world. So this is our way of ensuring that Medicine Buddha's healing is actually accessible to as many people as possible, and you can take as much as you want out of it and incorporate it, and spread that knowledge to others who also might benefit from this sort of knowledge from Tibetan medicine. Dr. Rizla, would you like me to do this, or would you be able to lead on this?
Yeah, can you show me the next slide?
We're going to begin with this in that order. So Tibetan medicine is quite unique in that it's not disease-based. So I spoke about being the diagnosis and treatment that's personalized for the individual. It also focuses on digestion. So it doesn't just see that condition or that part of the body in a siloed approach, but more a holistic approach to disease. Tibetan medicine doctors believe disease is actually a disequilibrium of 5 elements. And uniquely, the Tibetan community, because of how Tibetan medicine is so integrated in their culture and lives, they already approach Tibetan medicine when they're pre-diabetic. They don't wait till it actually is a condition. And so this is something that we want to actually share with the global wider community, that for prevention, Tibetan medicine could really be effective with diet and lifestyle recommendations.
Okay, so thank you, Metola, for covering the outline so well, because I think everybody got the overview of Tibetan medicine and diabetes as well. Thank you for making my work easier. So when we talk about diabetes, first we would like to know the symptoms, what are the symptoms, because when it comes to the self-care, then it's very important to know some of the disease symptoms. Then it gives you signal that, okay, you are in some problem, or you should go and consult a doctor. So we start with the symptom, what are the diabetes symptoms? although this varies from the individual to individual with other comorbidities as well, but this is the primary symptoms. And I'm very fascinating that Tibetan medicine's diabetes symptoms and the allopathic symptoms, they are more or less very similar, so I think most of us already know what are the symptoms of diabetes, so first thing is sleeping. Like usually people have sleeping problem, right? Especially in the West or in Europe. But then in case of diabetes, then people have excessive sleep. Even if they went for like 8 hours sleep in the night, still they feel very sleepy in the daytime. Then sweating also, even though the weather is not very hot, then unusual like sweating is there, even with walking or talking, then they feel very sweaty. Okay. Then foul body odor, like bad smell, even though you take shower or something, still you will know the smell, unusual smell in your body. Then nails and hairs, they grow very fast because in Tibetan medicine, when somebody has a diabetes, then their metabolic power is not good. That's why they cannot digest the food well. Thereby they cannot turn good fat, good flesh, good nutrients, and good regenerative fluid. Thereby then they diminish the immune system. That's why then the waste product is producing more. So it's overgrown of hair and nails. Tibetan medicine, hair and nails, they are not the refined product from the food. They are the waste product. So sweet taste in the mouth, even though one haven't consumed any sweet tea or chocolate or any toffee, still they feel every time, even after brushing, they feel something sweet taste in their mouth, Then of course dry throat, palate, and also feeling very thirsty, very unusual, hungry, and they're fond of cold nature diet. Although we recommend not to take cold nature diet, but they are very fond of after eating or after moving, then if they would like to have very icy water or some ice cream, very cold nature food. Okay, then the burning sensation in the palms and sole of the feet. It's not really burn from the fire or something, but then you feel very uncomfortable, like sweating, like very hot, or you feel you take out your socks or boot even in the winter time, you feel some more heat in your feet and sole, and sweating also. Then if you take your urine, but people usually they don't notice the urine color because we pee and just flush it, But then when doctors take the urine, the urine is very cloudy. But then we have to take the first morning urine. Otherwise, people doing lots of cold drains, carbonated drinks, which we really alter the disease urine rather than disease urine. So we should have some preliminary diet restrictions before storing the urine also. Then in the early times, people pee in the field, right? So then swarming of insects, flies and ants. But nowadays we don't do that, but we not necessarily have to do that also. Why? Because we have very portable, very affordable equipment from the biomedicine, which we can take even at the home. It's affordable and it's very accurate as well. So for our patients also to confirm whether it's a diabetes or not, we ask them, we refer to them to check as well. Next one.
Yeah, thank you. And I also wanted to point out the urine analysis. You said the first urine of the day. I actually noticed that with some of the Tibetan medicine doctors on the app who ask about the urine. It's the first or sometimes even the second urine of the day, which is more accurate, right, about the urine condition. Thank you.
Yeah, before breakfast, urine is good. Okay, so like the previous slide is more like general, right? Okay, so when we talk more detail, more specify, then we have classification, Tibetan medicine, symptoms also. There are Peking dominant symptoms also, Tibet dominant symptoms also, lung dominant symptoms also. Like beside that symptoms also, people used to get urinary tract infection, then erectile problems also, often urination and all. Like so, when we talk about the classification of the diabetes, also like Western medicine, in Tibetan medicine, like primarily there are three major types. Like there are Pekin dominant diabetes, as Metok already stated that Pekin means earth and water element composition. We are not talking about the gross level elements. We are talking about the inherent elements. Pekin, when they are in a balanced state, then they give fluidity to the body, stability to the mind and the body. But when they are in the disequilibrium, when they are in increase, then they give the Pekin dominant diabetes, where people don't get digest their food, and they get sleepy, they get skin diseases also, they get very fat, and they build up fat, and which leads to the cholesterol, fatty liver, etc. Then comes the Tiba dominant diabetes. And Tiba dominant diabetes, Tiba is fire element, and it governs the metabolism. It gives the heat ripening. When it is in a balance, then it's govern their functions. But when movement they are in a disequilibrium, when it's increased or it's disturbed, then it gives Tiba dominant diabetes, where then people get very hungry. They get very heat up very easily. They get angry very easily and thirsty, feeling very hot, etc. Then comes the lung dominant diabetes. Lung is nothing but inherent wind energy, where it's coordinate our body and mind. That's why when lung is disturbed, then we disconnect our body and mind also. So here also, when so much lung increases, wind energy is increases, then it gives the diabetes. Also, it leads to the chronic diabetes, where people get derived from the stress, okay, and their blood glucose level also shoot. You will see that some people, they cannot control the diabetes sugar level, although they take Western medicine. So for them, we diagnose as a lung disorder, and we give counseling also, how to be calm, how to have a soothing sleep and all. Then it's really work better. So, because many a time we have to integrate counseling, integrate the medicine and so on. So further, if we classify them further, then there are 20 different types of diabetes, four for the Pekin, and six for the Tiber dominant diabetes, and 10 for the lung dominant diabetes. So total there are 20, which I don't want to mention each and everything here. It's more for the self-care. So we focus more on the diet and lifestyle, or I would say the management. Next.
And your Tibetan medicine doctor, when you do go in for a consultation, either live or on video, will be able to actually classify you as Becken dominant diabetes, triple dominant diabetes, lung dominant diabetes, and then also look at your urine for confirmation.
Yeah, these are the detailed symptoms which I already stated. That Becken dominant means the loss of appetite, excessive sleep, then vomiting. Whatever you eat, you cannot digest because your digestion power is very weak. So here also we keep not only to reduce the sugar level, also we try to boost the digestive heat, also to metabolize what they eat, like, then the Tiba dominant, as I already stated, that and raise of body temperature, dry mouth, feeling thirsty, and feeling very hungry. These are the red signal that you should consult your doctor, because that's not the pre-diabetic, but these are the, like, real, like, diabetes. Okay. Then the lung dominant palpitation, your heartbeat very fast, and you cannot sleep well. Then breathing, like, difficulties, tremors, because, like, body and mind connection is lost here. Then craving for the food, excessive film, and these symptoms, these are the red signal that you should go for check, and you should consult doctor, and you should take the medicine as well. Next, please. So if we look at, or if we ask, what is diabetes in Tibetan medicine? Okay, so according to Tibetan medicine, diabetes is a metabolic disorder which causes, like, high blood sugar. Also, it leads to, like, build up fat in the blood, and also in the body. Okay, and it leads to other complications like eye problem, like eye vision, heart problems, stroke, kidney failure. Even like somebody, they have to go for amputation, and skin problems, and erectile, like, problems, infertility, UTI, and all these, like, these are the like, for us, these are the diabetes. If you ask me what is the diabetes, then we always should know the causes and condition, because in Tibetan medicine we say if there is a cause, there is the consequences. So to uproot the disease, then it's very important to know the what are the causes, because in Tibetan medicine also it's stated that there are the two prime causes and condition of the disease, to all the disease, and that is unwholesome diet and unwholesome lifestyle. So here also, like, if somebody consume a lot of salty and sweet food, like you see in the image, then cold, very heavy, like, butter or cheese or burger, and staying in a damp place. People, like, used to wear very thin clothes, and they would like to show their body, but they don't know that, like, they inside the internal organs are freezing, especially your digestive power is diminishing thereby, then you cannot digest the food, and it's built up, or it's like turned into waste product. So thereby, then it's turned into the packing energy. And same goes with many diseases, like in Tibetan medicine, like, there is a stage where accumulation, then accumulation goes on, and in some point, then it crosses the border. Like, if you keep on taking salty, sweet, cold drinks, then it accumulates. It won't show you any sign or give problems. Then it's a disorder in this phase, like disorder, and disorder. Then in some point, then it's go beyond the borderline. Then it's cross the borderline. Then it's become like diabetes. Then it's really a metabolic disorder, like, not disorder, but it's a disease. Okay. Next slide, please.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then now comes the management, like, when these are the, like, general management, but it varies from the individual to the individual, and like, food to the food. So I would like to recommend every one of you that if you have any, like, diabetes problem, then better you go and have individual consultation with the doctor, because we have many patients, like, I will cover the general, like, lifestyle, like diet, medicine, but it's very necessary to have a one-to-one consultation. Then it's more effective, because for the management, like for Tibetan medicine, like, it's a holistic approach to the holistic health care, where we not only, like, take the body, but we will consider the psycho emotional, like, well-being as well. Okay, so like for the management of the diabetes, and these are the like general food. Can you show me the previous slide, please? Yeah, so these are very clear. So I would like you to copy it and stick in your kitchen, and this is gonna be one of the recipe, like because then you should know what to eat, what to reduce, and what you should avoid. Okay, but then in generally, I always recommend my patients that okay, you can eat a little bit from everything. You can eat something from here and here, but be limit. It's not that you have to completely avoid sugar or something because your body need that for the energy and other organs need that. But then these are the food like recommended food. These are the food which are loaded with fiber, nutrients, but they digest very slowly in your body. Like they can digest, but they digest slowly, slowly. Thereby, your like cells get time to absorb your excess, sugar and turn into your energy very slowly. So your body cope up with the sugar, even though it's very high in your body. Okay. So recommended food. I think I will not go one by one because it's listed very clearly. Then food to reduce means then once a week or twice a week. Food to avoid means you should avoid the food until your sugar levels are controlled. Once your sugar levels are controlled, then you start little bit from even the avoided food also, like little bit. Then you can start
In
with the
moderation.
normal. Okay, yeah, motivation is the limit. You can eat here and here. It's not okay, this is very harmful and this is very good or something because we need all and everybody's. Even here, I would like to state that some like we used to say, oh, a white potato is not good for the diabetes because it had lots of calorie, but it's very for some people because it's individualized, our bio physiological is something very unique that for some even potato doesn't leads to increase the sugar level. We used to say, oh, like sweet potato is better than white potato, but for some, sweet potato leads harm more than the white potato. So we have to handle individualized basis. Okay. Then the
And
next slide, please.
is that Dr. Rigzila, is that because of their tripper, becken and lung? Is that why that
Yeah,
some
principle we have based on the three principal energy. Then we have seven constitutional nature also. Then it's age, physical strength, digestive power, there are 10 fold conditions. Based on that, then you can digest even the medicine, efficacy depends upon that also.
Thank you.
Very right.
So you're highlighting that actually even the dietary advice that Tibetan medicine doctors is, tailored to your humor and constitution in terms of what you can and can't eat. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Rizalaj, for providing this information. We'll also share just this slide on social media so you can download and print it. And, Dr. Rizala, you've given a really great suggestion to even put this on the fridge. For me, this is really helpful in terms of just trying to look at the recommended food and putting it on my shopping list and just trying to incorporate more of it and mindfully also trying to, reduce and avoid some of the other foods listed on this. So thank you for this great resource.
So sometimes if we give doctors give a list of fruits, what to eat, what not to eat, then it's very confusing. So for my patients also then I make it easier for them. Every time you cannot take the list or you cannot memorize all the list, the long list, So this is the outline, this is the gist, especially for the somebody who cook in the kitchen. Then this is the overall gist that it comes a mind very easily. Always not only for the diabetes, in a general health care, just cook with like green leafy vegetables like beans, broccoli, spinach, lentils. Like these are good for whole body, easy to digest, lots of nutrients, and it boosts immune system also. Then like if you are obese, like you should like avoid if possible the animal products, then more like red meat, go for like fish and chicken. But then this is more reminder. Actually, we are aware of that, like, but then we ignore. So I would like to remind you again that, like then like my patients, like they always complain me that okay, they are eating in a mass, like they are in a community, like their mother used to cook very oily food, they are used to traditionally, they used to eat like very oily food or something. Then I give tips like in a hacks that pour out the excess like fats or oil, skin, like even in a bowl, like let it, like it, because oils are lighter than the water, so it will flow on the surface. So you just take out the excess from your food or your cooking. And the ideal, like idea here is always use spoon rather than pouring direct from the container. When you use the spoon, then you can limit. You will know that okay, now 2 spoons, like counting, because it's affect your mindset also. Okay, then reduce the portion, especially the dinner. Dinner should be early, before like 8, and reduce the portion, even if it's like so it's yummy or something. It's very tasty. Many a times we go for after the taste rather than whether it's need for our body or not. So always reduce the meal. First, like put little bit, then little bit, not like put so much. And a healthy plate is like also very important, like 50% something green leafy vegetables, then quarter protein, then the quarter of the plate is like carbs. Even in Tibetan medicine we say like we have to divide our stomach into four parts, like I mean 3 parts. 50% solid food, a quarter of it for the liquid. You have to drink water. Water also here, I would like to point that you should drink warm water. Start your day from the hot, lukewarm water, like then drink water before you eat meals. If you eat meals, drink water before your meals, then it will help you to reduce the fats and it make you more slim, like so the quarter of it for the liquid, either it's for the milk or water or tea or something, and keep the quarter space for digestion to work. Like if you feel here, then you cannot digest. It goes same with cooking rice, right? If you feel the like pressure cooker, the full, then the bottom burnt, but upper won't like cook well. So same goes inside our like stomach also. Okay, then you should not like or should not use extra salt from the table, like whenever you cook, then use, otherwise don't use. Like we used to say, don't keep salt on the table, don't keep sweet on the table, like and carbonated cork and all these are very sugary. So I always tell my patient, and if you check my like kitchen, I'd never keep any carbonated like or sweet in my kitchen, because then you temptation craving doesn't let you. So best thing to avoid is don't buy, don't keep in your kitchen, like and then like avoid sugar. Sometimes we make, many of my diabetic patients, they make mistake that okay, this is sugar free biscuit, okay, sugar free, like sugar free, like coffee or something. But you should know that there are many artificial preservative, artificial sweetener in that. So in other way around, it harm your body more. So sweet is sweet, sugar is sugar, no matter it's a sugar free or something. But it's better than the refined sugar. But sugar is always sugar, because in Tibetan medicine, as long as there is a taste so sweet, and there is a potency as well. Okay, so then comes the exercise, which is very important. when I say like exercise, it looks easy, but for Tibetan medicine, like from Tibetan medicine, exercise doesn't mean only the physical exertion which we do, which we go gym or running or walking. It's more for the like psycho, like emotional well-being also, like because the mindset, mental attitude, they affect the body function more than our food. So we talk like in a it's a holistic approach where we cover the whole mind and body. That's why when we ask the patient like how is your like motion and how is your sleep, how are you happy, do you have any problem? Why? Because mental health plays a great role to cure the disease, to control and prevention more. Okay, so it's a very holistic. That's why, like, many of our international patients, they like us because we cover the whole. Like, my specialization is more on the metabolic disorder, but we should know the whole. Even like, medicines also, like, we give the whole like Western medicine they try to like extract the active ingredients, then it gives like more side effects. It doesn't work. There are many like studies that okay they take the Tibetan medicine like because in a Tibetan medicine they work synergistic way. In also like diabetes people they pay only attention to the like sugar and the pancreas like but metabolism, pancreas, your heart, your brain, your mind, they work in a network. They work together. Thereby, we can prevent and we can cure the like diabetes as well.
Manage
So
the
exercise,
diabetes. Yeah.
of course, yeah, of course, exercise is running, like jogging, walking. They are very important too because if you, we used to like recommend our patient that if you consume sometimes go for party like Christmas, like Halloween, okay, eat like but then at the same time next day you should go for walk, go for jogging, burn whatever you eat. You have to burn because these need like lifetime effort, discipline, but they are doable. Especially our mind, like, this is our mind can transform, like, even in a quick, like, positive thinking, we can overcome everything. By this way, that we become more resilient, more stable, more calm, more open minded. That we can forgive others, we can understand others, like, so thereby it's really like you can cope up with many of the suffering because mind is everything nowadays. We used to say that okay, we are what we eat, at the same time we are what we think, because mind makes the hell of the heaven and heaven of the hell. Okay, so happiness is within, not in the materialistic or something we need. We need money, we need house or something we don't need so much, because at the most our lifespan is 100. Like 100. I'm not talking about negative, but we should not just law of nature, and we should use them like and give time for yourself. Take me time. Go for like walk. Go for like exercise, meditation. Meditation also in this stage we have to meditate when you are pre-diabetes, when you have diabetes is under control. If you don't have any like complications like kidney disorders or heart or brain damage or amputation, that time you have to cultivate, make habit to meditate 5 minutes, even with your breathing. Just or just grateful, feel grateful. Just meditate on grateful, like you should grateful with what you have, like at the present. Then thereby when you encounter with like severe diseases, then you can meditate. Otherwise people come to us in the last stage, they damage everything and they come, then they cannot like stabilize their mind. Even if we guide them to meditate or like exercise or something, then they can't do that. That's that's time too late. Even I think medicine Buddha cannot help you because we don't have like a solution for everything, but mindset is very important. Okay, next please.
Thank you. And I wanted to ask Dr. Rigzina, what are the sugar alternatives? Is it like honey? What can people incorporate if they want to avoid refined sugar?
Yeah, to avoid the refined sugar, thank you for that's good question. In Tibetan medicine, we use uh, honey, but the matter is we should have pure honey. Even in some diabetes, medicine, we put honey. So as a sweetener, you can use honey in the pancake, honey in the porridge, honey in the curd. You can use that as a replace the sugar. It's better than sugar free, but then make sure it's a real honey, pure natural honey.
Thank you. I myself actually have honey with my tea instead of sugar.
Wow.
That's one thing I incorporate. And I know some people also have an issue with honey because of the bees. So you can offer, molasses or golden, or sometimes I've seen also syrup being used. Algrave, that's, if you have an issue with honey. And I wanted to also share something I do to remove fat. And I actually brought my kitchen towel here. So one thing I do is sometimes even take my kitchen towel, and this is something familiar in the West that you have in the kitchen, is take your oily food. So for example, if it's French fries or chips, what you do is here I actually have a shortbread cookie my children made this weekend, but you put that in between the kitchen towel and just kind of blot it. Actually, it helps reduce a lot of the butter and oily food, and you actually get shocked how much you would have otherwise consumed. So that's something that I do. I also have with the frying pan, I get if I'm taking something out of the frying pan, I really make sure that I've ensured all the oil has left. And then sometimes I even, to take excess oil off, even put it on a kitchen towel and then consume it. Other frying, other items is, like a little mat where the excess oil drops off. So there are little things, in addition to using the spoon to measure straight. It just came to my mind, and I'm really lucky the kitchen towel was already right next to me. But just to share a kind of a practical tip to reduce the oil. And this is things that would have otherwise just gone straight into your body. So really being mindful.
Amazing. Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing idea. Okay, so as I told you before that, Tibetan medicine is individualized. There is nothing one fit for all. You have to diagnose based on the tenfold, like your age, your body strength, metabolic strength, then your constitutional nature, the season, the location of the disease, the nature of the disease, other comorbidities. Based on that, then we prescribe the medicine. But I would like to share you some primary or the major common medicine which we use for the diabetic patient here. And these are the, can you show the previous slide, please? Yeah, so this, I think, this is more for the self-care, which you can consume in your daily life. It's not only good for the diabetes, but they loaded with antioxidants, good for the digestion, and also it boosts your immune system, because as I told you before, that for immune system for Tibetan medicine is a refined product of the food or nutrients which we get from the food and the liquid we consume. Final byproduct of the nutrients is immunity for the Tibetan medicine, which is very important to fight not only the diabetes, for many of the diseases here. So first one is like sema, which is in the bowl, and this also you will get from the Amazon in the powder also. Then you can have 1 spoon of powder from that. And this is really good to burn your fat, also make you clean. This one is very good medicine, and it's good for the water retention as well. then kurura, like kurura, amla, we call like amla, which you can eat as a fruit also. This is
gooseberry. It's called gooseberry in English.
Gooseberry, yeah, gooseberry, right? So this available, I think, in all of the country, and this is the main base of the Ayurveda medicine as well. It's really good to reduce your sugar level and burn the fat also. Then the turmeric, the yellow one. Like actually, we are used to like put turmeric for every cooking, but then if you consume this a spoon of this every morning with hot water, if you start your day with turmeric water, or like we say golden milk, which is very good to boost the immune system and to fight the many of the infectious diseases. And this is really good, an antioxidant which like diabetic patients, they have skin, like irritation, skin problems. So it's loaded with lots of antioxidant where it will repair your dead cells also. Then the cardamom, and cardamom, it's very good for the kidney, for the digestion. It's easy to access. So put while cooking, just chop it and cooking. Like even in the tea, you can have like cardamom tea even in the morning, especially in the chilly winter. Then it's good to give you more heat, also digestion power, also. Okay, next slide, please.
Some of us have already enjoyed masala tea and chai that has some of this cardamom, right? And turmeric is actually really growing in popularity here in Europe. We've got the Pret. They've got this golden milk, and it's now, there's an awareness of how amazing a superfood turmeric is.
And also not only that, also cinnamon. Everybody knows that cinnamon, ginger, like some berries also. Then methi, like generic, right? Methi, generic, and these are very easy to available, but they are very effective if you consume. Like sometimes even if you are not diabetic, you have to consume them. This is really good for the well-being, like to boost your immune system, to give more energy, antioxidant, which everybody needs. So you should have sometimes cinnamon, like water, ginger water, turmeric. Start your day with lukewarm water. Also drink water before you eat. These are really, really effective to fight many of the disease. So these are the medicines like Kuru 6, Yungwa 4, Sungmen 90, Tini Kuru, Tini Aru 18. These are the primary medicine, but based on the three principal energies, then doctors may like maybe like two from here, but one from other medicine based on the comorbidity, the body strength, nature of the disease, constitutional and other comorbidities, like especially like which element is more elevated. Based on that, they will prescribe other medicine as well. Besides this one, also other medicine as well. So for this, I would like to consult and request you to consult the doctor rather than you take the Kuru 6 or something. If you are not access, then you can buy like Kuru 6, like Kuru 6, and take three pills in the morning if you are diabetic, and if you are not access to the Tibetan doctor, then you can maybe order from the Metok shop. And we have diabetic tea also. Many Indian diabetic patients, they cannot control the diabetes without the tea, and they are very used to tea. When it's out of stock, then they ask often and often, now is tea in the stock or not, because they know that it's easy to drink. And that's why when I go abroad, I used to tell them we have very like so many herbal teas here. I'm not promoting them, but for the health benefit, they drink tea. So I always tell them not only the teas, please drink something which is good for your health. Drink some herbal teas which are good for your nature, good for your health. Then the massage oil. You see the massage oil. It's main ingredient is almond. Many diabetic patients, they have skin diseases, and especially like, poor nerve strength. So massaging, just applying and rubbing on the like, foot, also on the like, palms before go to bed, even the calf. It's really relaxing. Like, your muscles get very like, weak, and you get very fatigued. That time, soak your feet in the hot water with little bit of salt, or like, you just wash your the feet with hot water, then apply and rub in the weekend, like, sometimes exposed to the sun. It's really, then it's absorbed into your system day by, it's relax your mind also, because your channels, like, it's get open, strengthen, then mind also more alert, more resilient. Okay, then ointments, like, many of the diabetic wound in Tibetan medicine, there are 10 diabetic wound also, so which leads to the amputation, and very like, difficult to heal the wound. So for them, this ointment, chronic, not only for the diabetic wound, other wound like chronic wound, if you apply, it's really soothing, and it really helps to heal better. We have like, many patients who cannot like, heal the wound, especially like, diabetic patient. If they go for surgery, then they take a lot of time to heal, like, so use that soothing balm. Even if you have other like skin irritation, you can use that, like, no side effect, very mild, very natural, yet effective. Then anti-diabetic tea, as I told you, that drink that tea, that tea has many herbs which, like, they work synergistic, they work together. Even in the crucifix, people say, oh, what are they in the crucifix? But recipe, the formulation, compounding is very important, because they work as a synergistic. What like, scientists do, they try to, okay, crucifix is very effective for the like diabetic patients. Then they try to extract the active ingredient they would like, but they don't find anything, like, because they work in a synergistic manner. So that's the Tibetan medicine. Okay, holistic. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting both the supplements that are tailored for you and your condition, and also, tailored by dosage and the time of the day, which actually, if you have a consultation on the app and they make a recommendation, you purchase via the supplements. When we send the supplements, we actually have it personalized. It just says your name, when to take it, and how. And it came out of a real life need. When I got Tibetan medicine, I didn't know what I was having, what the ingredients were, couldn't even remember what the Tibetan medicine doctor said. So this is to make it easier to incorporate Tibetan medicine. And then the 3 over-the-counter products which you've recommended is such a great way to, incorporate herbal products easily in your lifestyle, especially the anti-diabetic tea. And actually this oil, so we've got the anti-diabetic tea and the oil, massage oil on our app on the shop tab. And actually the oil in particular, it's not just for diabetes, but also I notice for other arthritis or even insomnia and some of the mental conditions, this is actually our most popular product. And finally, Dr. Rigzila
So
will share.
final slide, yeah, final slide. So I would like to share like some of Mexican study on diabetes. Actually, we conducted 2 study on that. So this is the one which I would like to share you. So we did for like 200 patients, where like, 100 patients in a control, where they'll get only diet and lifestyle regimen, but the other group, 100 like patient group, they got Tibetan medicine along with diet and lifestyle regimen. So at the end of 6 months treatment, the intervention or treatment group show greater decrease in the sugar level, like sugar level in a 3 form, like fasting sugar level, postprandial sugar level, and HbA1c, like, significantly reduced with Tibetan medicine, which is published in Diabetes Care journal. You can Google it because it's open access to you. And we did other study which is yet to publish, but there is a greater reduction in the cholesterol, like fat in your blood, which is very important because for the diabetes, the risk is like people get cholesterol day by they get like stroke, they get heart attack, and circulation disturb the circulation. So that's very effective. Although like many of the patients, we have to integrate Tibetan medicine with the allopathic medicine. I don't mean that like you it's a like only medicine or it's a very comprehensive or something. For many chronic patients, we have to integrate. So I'm also like interested in integration because nowadays people come with lots and lots of like problems together. So we have to come in a center, work together, like what is good for the patient because the main focus is to like serve the patient. So I recommend my patient, many of my patients, they are taking together in the beginning. Then many patients they can reduce the diabetic like allopathic medicine also along with, and more importantly, they prevent from the complications like vision loss, like stroke, kidney failure, amputation, like skin problems, like infertility, and many of this we can prevent and we can reduce, and progression of the disease also. Okay, and the mental set also, then they get like used to they live with the diabetes. Also, they have to, many of them live with the diabetes, but they live very friendly with the diabetes with Tibetan medicine, integrated with Western medicine. So just take away home message. Start your day with hot water, like with turmeric, cinnamon, or cardamom, or put like some berry in your oatmeal. But you eat like something from every, like little bit from everything, but be limit and sleep well and be happy always because everything will be okay, and always let go. Don't live in the past. Let go and move forward. Everything will be positive, and stay with positive like people. Don't stay in a negative like environment which ruin your inner like stand. Also, these are very difficult, but they are doable. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rizla, especially to see this clinical study, long may it continue with Menzikang doing more and more clinical study, because this is also a way for Tibetan medicine to be more accepted in global society if we have more clinical studies. And, so if there's anyone watching here or in the replay, I'm sure Menzikang is happy to do more collaborations and studies, because that'll, increase the acceptance of Tibetan medicine as one option in complementary, alternative, integrative medicine that can really help lots of people. So thank you. Also, I really like that you highlighted some of your key takeaway points. This is one of the fourth Medicine Buddha Anywhere series. And actually, some of the key messages I was speaking to Justin earlier is, there's a theme about self-regulation, knowing portion control, knowing what's healthy, what's not healthy, being more mindful when eating, at the time you eat, eating mindfully and purposefully, partaking in wholesome diet and wholesome lifestyle. And then finally, a case about, a focus on self-care, the fact that you are logging on to this webinar, taking the time out. This really shows you actually do care about yourself, making your health and well-being a priority. So thank you so much for joining in. This was so informative and so great. And I'll open the floor for questions for Dr. Rinzin Sangmola. At the same time, also, it's a pitch for the next Medicine Buddha Anywhere series will be on January 8th by myself, and it'll be a Going Back to Basics 101 on the Tibetan medicine, and just the basics on what are the 3 constitutions and the 5 elements. And we're going to continue with this Medicine Buddha Anywhere series and really spotlight great doctors like Dr. Rinzin La. Before I open the question and wait for Justin to look on YouTube and Facebook, I wanted to ask you, Dr. Rinzin, if you could share what inspired you to be a Tibetan medicine doctor and your personal story and journey here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you ask me that question, that like why I study Tibetan medicine, that's not very interesting. But what
It's
I
very
feel
interesting.
now, it's very important because means I'm from middle, it's family. Like I'm from Tibet. My parents in Tibet, so means I studied freely in Tibetan children's village. I don't have any financial support from my parents, but I have to rely totally on the scholarship. But my dream is was to become allopathic Western doctor. I used to get top in the class. I'm topper. I'm the leader, or because I'm very responsible person. So my aim was that, but then I didn't get the scholarship. That time we don't have any reserve seat like this. Like nowadays we have reserve seat for the Tibetan students. So thereby I could not get into the MBBS. So my Tibetan teacher, he know my I'm good in Tibetan language writing, and means I participate in Dharma, like in debate and writing essays and all. Then he pushed me, or some he called me in the corner, and he told me, why not you give entrance to Tibetan medicine? This time there's a entrance, So it clicked me, it clicked me. Okay, why not I try? Because I don't have many. I have other options like nurse or something, but I don't have I would like to become a doctor because I would like to serve my community or the world as a whole because I studied freely, right? So I gave, I prepared and I gave entrance. It was very tough actually. There are only 15 seat or something. Then I got through the entrance directly. Thereby I got through the course. Then I studied still it's a 5 year theory course and 1 year internship until the end of the internship. I was still flying. Really, maybe you have the same doubt. Really, are they effective? They are just herbs or plants, or really it's cure the disease, or really helps the human being well-being or something. Then during internship I saw many encounter with many senior doctors where many patients come with get benefit from Tibetan medicine, and many patients they come very early in the morning to the senior doctors. Then that's click me. Oh, now there's a something then I have a patient. Then I did I conducted research also, and it's very effective. Now it's a scientific proof. Not only the clinicians it's getting better, but scientifically using scientific methodology. Then it's a evidence significant. Then I got the confidence. Wow, it's great. Then I see more patients. Then I gave courses. I attend conferences like consultation. Then I apply into my life also. My complexion are not like this. I think I'm looking more younger and my glow are better because then I try to change my lifestyle. According to Tibetan medicine, it's really changed. It's a turning point to me. Then I got the confidence. Now I feel that yeah, it's lucky that I studied Tibetan medicine, not Western medicine. Then I have nowadays we have dialogue with Western medicine. They really appreciate because is a holistic, a mental attitude. Nowadays I'm very resilient, I'm very stable, calm, I'm happy, I'm content with what I have because of the Tibetan medicine. Because from Tibetan medicine there is a great relationship with Buddhism and a mental set. So I'm very happy. I don't have big dreams or something. I'm living very happily, content, and I don't react with people. I'm very proactive. I'm very passionate. So thanks to the Tibetan medicine and like you know my patients are doing very well. They welcome me and they receive me very well. And it's really helpful, to the world as a whole, so we give courses, counseling, and interviews, and I have seen a lot of, young scientists from the USA who get, a narrow funding. So I'm the supervisor to them, so interview, mental health, awareness, all this goes on. And I'm very happy. Now I feel that, okay, yeah, it's good that it's lucky maybe from the past life. I'm very lucky that I studied Tibetan medicine. And my, family are very healthy. I think my son never took any allopathic, antibiotics so far, only Herbal. And he is in day school, not in the boarding, because like diet and lifestyle and mental health is very important rather than the education. So he is in the with me, okay, that's how.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's really great to see you practice what you preach, and it's great to see your purpose led to heal people. So you're very lucky that you got that right guidance. And Dr. Rizla, even somebody out here, a young Tibetan or a person who's interested in Tibetan medicine and learns Tibetan to learn Tibetan medicine, you're inspiring the next generation. And also, current Tibetan doctors, I know one of them is logged on, they always have that hunger to learn from each other and refine your craft, and with that purpose to really help individuals. So, even doing this webinar, you're making us all proud to see excellence in Tibetan medicine. So I want to thank you and also open the floor for any questions, firstly on Zoom. And then Justin, please throw some of the questions coming out from social media.
Okay,
Yeah, I posted
Tana,
one in the
she
chat.
has many massage oil, so she has many massage bottles. So you should use, on the palms, on the calf, especially in the weekend after hectic, weekday long walk. Then use that. Go for sleep. Okay.
Oh, so Tamara,
Unmute.
I think I can see
Tamara,
you online
unmute.
too. About a question about the
Unmute. You should
massage oil.
unmute.
Oh.
No, she should unmute. Tamara, unmute first. Unmute.
It's
Here,
fine.
let me
We
enable
can.
that 1 second. There you go. Now you can unmute yourself.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for what you've shared. It's fabulous. I have experienced lots of Tibetan medicine because I spend a lot of time in Tibetan places in India and in Ladakh. So I've had these massage oils kind of stashed away and didn't use them. But it's going to be 8 years ago or so, maybe longer. Is it still good?
Yeah. Oh, good question. Do you have the oil now with you? Can you show one of this? You shake and show me.
So Tamara,
Yeah.
so the oil, all the oils like
No,
this
it's
one.
okay. If the oil looks same like, if the oil looks same like before, if it's not concentrated, if it's expired, then it's concentrated, some here and someone here. If it looks like this one, it's clear. It's clear, not concentrated. Then it's okay to use. Even if it's expired, then it's not expired. It's long, many years. It's it's okay if it's 8 years. Still, it's useful. You can use it.
Yeah. Okay. While you're answering other questions, I'll look for my bottle.
Actually,
Yeah.
Tamara, at the back of your bottle, it should have the expiry date, and it does say 24 months. So it's about a 2-year period. I would say, I would encourage you to, like Dr. Rigza said, you can look at the bottle, but I think maybe best to just buy a new one. especially if it's for your health and well-being. We do stock it on our app. And if you have access to some of the Menzikang shops or actual Tibetan medicine doctor, they can procure you a newer bottle. Also, I've got the Menja tea here. Topke Menja. Oh, no, that's a tonic tea. Sorry. I thought it was the diabetics antibiotics, but we do have it as well.
Big one. Yeah.
And I think there was a question. There was a... Sandy has also asked about the oil as well. So that's good. 2 birds in one throw. Answer that. And YouTube, somebody, Vlad, has asked how to maintain a balanced diet with minerals and vitamins from natural resources. Are there any power foods that can provide most of the vitamins and nutrients for a healthy body? So that slide on the common natural power foods like the turmeric, cardamom, please do revisit that slide.
Yeah, nuts, flax seeds, chia seeds. Yeah,
and chia seeds. Thank you. Yeah, chia seeds now.
Flax seeds
at
also.
Point,
yeah.
Sorry, what was that? Flax seeds. Thank you. Flaxseed, chia seeds. Those are great superpower foods they can put in your cereal and muesli. And then I've got a comment rather than a question.
And not only that, stay happy, because in Tibetan medicine, anxiety, stress, they diminish the immunity, thereby then it affects your body function. So mindset, not only food. We are always looking after the food, but we don't care much about the mental, because the root cause of everything is the ignorance, like attachment, hatred, anger, delusion, these are the internal causes for all the disease, which is living behind the curtain. We are not aware, although that is the main, thing which affect our body function. So I always tell patients, mindset, along with the diet also.
Thank you. Absolutely, the mental wellness aspect is, helps with the healing as well. I've heard from other medical professions, those who have more positive attitude also seem to heal and be discharged from hospitals earlier. So absolutely something within our control. And there's some great self-help books that are not just on Tibetan medicine, but are really good for, changing your mindset and adopting a more positive, peaceful attitude to life. There's a comment here from YouTube's Adam Rosen, thank you, who says Western medical doctors will be more accepting with more clinical studies, especially well-powered randomized studies. Absolutely. And that's why we're excited about the new study that's coming up. Dr. Rinzin was able to highlight it, but until it's published, she's kept that confidential, as you should as a professional Tibetan medicine doctor. But more and more of these and more collaborations will actually be really great for acceptance of Tibetan medicine globally. Scrolling down. So another one, Kevin Lay. Are there different traditions of Tibetan medicine? I've heard, for example, Yutok Nyingtik, Dr. Nida, are these traditions the same? So Dr. Rigzela, would you like to take the question and then I'll add?
It's the same, like Yuto, Jinti, these are more ritual, but it's the same. We practice the same. Because all the Tibetan medicine, we have one text called Rishi, for medical tantra. We all have to study that, no matter some graduates from Tibet or some from Mystica, some from Jokpuri or something. We have to study that. And there are many commonly root means we have only one root tantra, so we have to study. It's all in a nutshell same.
Thank you. They're referring to Dr. Nida Chenasangla. I love to call him the rock star of Tibetan medicine, amazing Tibetan medicine doctor from Tibet who lives in Italy but travels everywhere around the world and gives teachings. He's a yogi, he's a Tibetan medicine doctor. I actually went to visit his home in Italy and in earlier this year, and absolutely adore him. So knowledgeable, and he's great in bringing Tibetan medicine to the West, and also trains individuals in terms of different traditions, such as actually the external therapies. I know he teaches some courses, and he's trained the massage therapist at Dewa Spa at Menla in Catskills, New York. So if you have an opportunity, you can read Dr. Nidala's books on Amazon. He's got lots of Facebook groups. I think the last time I counted, there are about 8 Facebook groups on Dr. Nidala. He's also on Instagram, Dr. Nida. And, obviously his courses that he runs, mainly through Pure Land Farms in LA and in Menla in Catskills, UK. And who knows, maybe one day Medicine Buddha, Dr. Nidala, Tibet House, Pure Land Farms, we can do a Medicine Buddha festival. I'm going to put it out into the universe that we can manifest this. And Justin's also added, thank you. You talk Ning are the spiritual practices and meditation traditions of Sowa Rigpa, which is Tibetan medicine. I do want to add that you don't have to be Tibetan, you don't have to be Buddhist to benefit from Tibetan medicine, and that Tibetan medicine is not a Buddhist practice or a tradition. There are some spiritual practices and Buddhist practices that are incorporated in Tibetan medicine, but if you're not a Tibetan Buddhist, or you're not even a Buddhist, or not even Tibetan, it's absolutely fine. As I said before, it's very personalized for the patient and their condition and their needs, and practical things that they are seeking. So the Tibetan medicine doctor will make those recommendations for you. If they don't see it appropriate to recommend spiritual practices, they'll read the situation and they'll ask you, and they'll tailor it. For an individual like myself, they will actually recommend some aspects of Tibetan Buddhism. But Tibetan Buddhism, I think, also has been accepted so well in the West because it's got that zest for life and that positive mental well-being. So if there's aspects of Tibetan Buddhism, Tibetan medicine that you like, please do utilize it and share. In a way, it's not just meant for Tibetans, but it is Tibet's gift actually to the world.
Yeah.
Justin, are there any further questions?
No, that was the last of them.
Oh, there's one last one from Kevin Lay. He asked, can I use Tibetan Medicine Buddha app to connect with Tibetan medicine doctors? If not, how? Great, thank you. So the Medicine Buddha app is an app that you can download if you have a smartphone, either Google Play or an iPhone. Just go on your App Store or the Google Play button and press Medicine Buddha with the second option that comes up, and register for an account. Very easy, just with an email address. And one of the tabs is book a consultation with Tibetan medicine doctor. And you see the various Tibetan medicine doctors. You can log into their profiles and see what their name is, what they specialize in, what languages they speak, and their rate. And this is a way for us to connect you to vetted English-speaking Tibetan medicine doctors who are really purpose-led. And for the doctors too, they earn a multiple of what they earn in India. And this is keeping that spirit, that cultural practice alive, and empowering Tibetan doctors that have access to global clients as well. So it's a win-win, and we keep our prices very reasonable because we're really purpose-led to actually open the access to Tibetan medicine. And we're going to onboard Dr. Rinzin because I'm sure so many people after hearing this webinar want to do a consultation with you. Right now, we just kept our head down trying to deliver an excellent webinar. Thank you so much for tuning in. The replay is posted on the course page where the Zoom link is found, and also will be on YouTube. Also, we will share it on our Medicine Buddha app to all our subscribers, so that you can still benefit from this even if you haven't logged into the Zoom. Thank you so much for attending, and special huge thanks to Dr. Rigzilla for this amazing webinar. I've certainly learned a lot about self-care as well. So thank you so much, and have a great evening wherever you're logging on from.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
May
you.
you have healthy body, healthy mind, and happy life. Thank you.